Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The trash talk between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is heating up ahead of their February 22nd rematch in Las Vegas. Both have made statements in the past day or so, none too flattering about the other. Deontay Wilder appearing on The Boxing Voice, and I'll come to some of those comments a bit later. But first, Tyson Fury, and then followed by a few general thoughts before the Wilder stuff. So here's Fury and his latest posting to Instagram.
Hey, this is Tyson Fury, aka the Gypsy King, the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. Wilder, you want to show up tomorrow, you little bitch? Not off like you've been doing for the last year or so. Don't want no part of the Gypsy King, do you? You're going to get smashed. Tomorrow, I start living in your head rent-free, you little bitch. See you there, don't be late.
Of course, Tyson Fury alluding to their one and only press conference, which is happening in Los Angeles. So of this trash talk, which actually there's been a bit from the Fury side, but not so much from Deontay Wilder until that Boxing Voice interview. So here's a couple of snippets from the past 3 weeks from Tyson Fury.
Deontay Wilder, Mimi Polly will come in for you, sucker. Better be ready. He's going around saying he fights all the best heavyweights, but Dominic Brazil ain't no best heavyweight, and neither is Luis Ortiz. Dominic Brazil's average at best, and the other guy, Luis Ortiz, is average at best. 145 years old. Someone you already knocked out, you bum. His management team and his full team are afraid to put Deontay Wilder in the same room as Tyson Fury. Facts. Keep him away, Al. Keep him away, Shelley. Keep him away, his trainers. Keep him away, his wife. Deontay, what a little bitch you become. You can't even come and see me and be face to face with me on camera because you get humiliated and took to school. Pussy!
So before I get to Deontay Wilder's comments, a couple of general thoughts about the back and forth, the tit for tat. This sort of stuff is the icing on the cake for a promotion. I believe that, this is already a very good fight, one that most boxing fans want to see, but these sort of little bits of extra spice on top help bring in the casual fan, the fan that may not otherwise purchase the pay-per-view. And after all, they're after broad appeal. And let's face it, trash talk, if it's done well, it can be highly effective. But there is one element that both have to be wary of, which is not trying to take away from their opponents so much that they take away credit from themselves should they win. And it sort of runs that risk, it's sort of on that borderline with some of the comments from both of them. But we'll get to Deontay Wilder's comments now to the Boxing Voice. Very interesting stuff, wide-ranging interview, and taking a few shots at Fury, that's for sure, especially about the lineal status that Tyson Fury has held so dear since his return to the professional game mid-2018. That really has been something that Top Rank has hung their marketing for Tyson Fury on, the lineal heavyweight champion. So he says, this is Deontay Wilder, "I don't care nothing for it at all. We only heard about this lineal championship stuff when Fury came out. He won the belt from Klitschko, never defended it. I know that hurts. Even though you had the opportunity, but you allowed yourself not to have it because you wanted to play with your nose. That's okay. That was part of your choice drug to use. But you did it a little too much and went over from there. He never allowed himself to have the opportunity to defend those titles. So now he's trying to have some kind of validation for it. I think it's like holding a bunny at night. He needs to hold his bunny at night because he's dwelling about how he had the titles but then did nothing with it. Now he's coming up with this lineal stuff. I never heard about it until Fury came out with this crazy stuff. Now you're having 12-round fights for an invisible belt. I don't know what's going on around here. The lineal dies with Tyson Fury come February 22. It begins with him and it dies with him. As far as talking about the lineal stuff, I don't care about that. It doesn't mean nothing to me. That ain't even important, at least not in my eyes and many others as well. So, clear from those statements, Deontay Wilder not a fan of the lineal heavyweight championship tag, although you can pretty much guarantee, should he beat Tyson Fury in some form of marketing and publicity for his fight after this, that would be used in some way, shape or form. It might be the sort of little brother to the WBC belt, but it would be thrown in the mix there because ultimately, it's the man who beat the man, and I'm sure that Deontay Wilder would be saying, look, Fury beat Klitschko, I beat Fury, so now I am the man. And he's already saying that to some extent anyway, that he is the number one heavyweight in the world. But some of these things, even though he's dismissing them now, later they can come back and play a role in promotional sort of activities. But the biggest part of what he's trying to do there is discredit Tyson Fury having won the belts and never done anything with him, because it is a fact, he didn't defend his titles. So Deontay Wilder is trying to go for Tyson Fury's pride, goad him, say, look, you didn't act like a champion, defend your belts, you went off and did something else and put something up your nose, and then you didn't defend those titles. So he is trying to strike to the heart of Tyson Fury's pride here. Obviously Fury very proud of that achievement. He holds up the Klitschko win and will tell anyone that, you know, he is the man who beat the man. But Deontay Wilder is saying, look, there was an obligation to defend those titles, and you didn't. And now that you've come back from all these years out of the ring, you're trying to hold up this invisible title and say that you are the best, and he's not having it. And he also made some comments about the Ring Magazine title, because this will be on the line for this fight, number 1 versus number 2 in their rankings. So Wilder says, I don't care about that either. The Ring Magazine belt, isn't that a Golden Boy title? Don't Golden Boy run that. Ever since I left those guys and made a decision for my family, it's just been negativity from them, which is fine. My career has bloomed and progressed. It's in an all-time high. Why would I represent something that doesn't represent me or have nothing good about me? For what? And actually, yeah, a lot of people seem to forget that Deontay Wilder was with Golden Boy for about the first 5 years of his career before parting ways with them. I think it was the end of 2013. A lot of people think that he was been with, you know, Al Heyman for the duration of his career, when in reality it's been maybe about 60%, 55%, something like that. But in terms of the Ring Magazine title, even though Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya owns the Ring Magazine, the Ring Magazine title is something that has been around for a lot longer than the Golden Boy stable, has been something that has been a belt that is actually looked upon with some prestige. So just to dismiss it out of hand because of the Golden Boy stuff, yeah, I mean, it's up to Wilder what he does there, but I think in the context of if he gets the Ring Magazine title, the lineal title, defends his WBC title, you stack all that together, you put that in front of fans, casual fans, you can actually build a narrative that Deontay Wilder is, you know, winning more titles, more accolades, and push that towards the casual market, which could potentially help make him a bigger star within America and more broadly across the world. And Wilder himself, he expects Fury is going to be the same. So he did tell the Boxing Voice, I told him I would knock him out, and I did just that. I think the first fight and having a controversial decision, it already sold the fight. People were just waiting for a time and a date, and once we gave them that, they did their part. I expect the same from Fury as the first time. I don't think anything that he'll be able to change or be able to do. The only thing he'll be able to change is his weight. He can go up or down. Other than that, I don't see nothing he can change. When the man came back, he was definitely in shape. Look at the things that he put himself through. He's always talking about how he was out of shape. Well, when you look at the reality, he didn't come back out of shape. He came back in tremendous shape. You had 3 training camps, 2 warm-ups, and you had 5 or 6 trainers in your camp. If that's not a boost, or to have so many inspirations to get you in shape, then I don't know what is. And I guess just on that, the debate about who can be better and how and what, there really is different views across the sort of spectrum here, because a lot of Tyson Fury fans or boxing fans in general think that Fury will be better since he's longer into his comeback, since returning in mid-2018. He faced Deontay Wilder 6 months into his comeback, and now it's roughly 18 months or so. But I guess, you know, Deontay Wilder will be banking on that Tyson Fury will be largely the same, that he won't be too much different from the first fight. He is sort of pinning his hopes to a better performance from himself, whereas in the first fight he was a bit wild and ragged, went away from his game plan. He wants to be able to be a bit more disciplined, and say like the Luis Ortiz fight, where he was a bit more patient, he picked his spots, he was working the body a bit with the left hand, but ultimately he got the opportunity against Luis Ortiz near the end of that 7th round and took him out. He will be looking for those openings against Tyson Fury. And just before I go, we'll just quickly discuss Wilder's comments about Fury's trainer change, dumping Ben Davison, going for Javan Sugar Hill, aka Sugar Hill Stewart. So Wilder says at this point in time, he's doing a lot of things with his trainers, and I don't understand that. If you feel that you beat me as you so claimed, why all this change? Why are you the one doing this change and I'm still the same? As far as trainers in my camp, I don't think there's nothing Sugar is going to be able to do to get him ready, because Sugar is not a manual. If he was a manual, then we'd be talking about some other stuff, but he's not a manual, and I wish him luck. It doesn't matter who he gets in his camp, he's just running up his bill. At the end of camp, he's going to need to be the one to pay everybody. We've still got the same people. We got a lot of good things going on in camp. May the best man win. I'm glad this rematch is happening. I was the one that forced the immediate rematch. He didn't even try to make it. He didn't try to take any risk to get to this point. He took the safe road. So Deontay Wilder, a lot of comments to the boxing scene. I didn't traverse all of them, otherwise we would have been here for about 25 minutes. But yeah, some interesting comments, and it's one of the first times Wilder has actually, in this build-up, hit back publicly at Tyson Fury. Fury has been putting out the little clips, as I sort of showed before, sort of taking pot shots at Deontay Wilder. But this sort of stuff ahead of their one and only press conference, it's going to help to build some interest. And for boxing fans, we're already sold on this, so maybe it does only need the one press conference, and I'm sure boxing fans, could have done without it, because the fight is only about 5 or 6 weeks away anyway. But this is more to sell the fight to the casual market, especially with the fight being in Las Vegas, and in that time zone, having the press conference in Los Angeles makes some sense too. You want to try tap into that market, and I'm sure potentially some of the undercard fighters could be from that area too, possibly of Mexican descent, trying to tap into that audience too for pay-per-view. But what do you make of it all? Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury throwing jabs at each other publicly. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.